Welcome back everyone, hope you guys are doing good. Today I'm showcasing my tractor collection, explaining how I got them, why I run them, all that nonsense. I've just moved them all yesterday, mainly because I've got a truck body coming in, like an old furniture body, like a truck body thing for storage that's coming in. So the back of a truck anyway, so that's going to be used for storing a lot of the valuable rare parts I've got. Tools, equipment, all that, just get all under lock and key and out of the weather, and all organised as well, so I know where everything is instead of going it's over there and it's over there. So I'll show you these old tractors I've got and tell you a bit how I got them and all the rest of it. So it started on I think it was sometime last year. I've always been doing things by hand. If I needed a tractor or a bit of equipment, I would hire it. And then last year I ended up buying a very old International that was used by the New Zealand military, and that was C solid, but I bought it at auction for $100 or something silly like that. And but there was at least $400 to $600 scrap in it, you know what I mean, at the time. So it was worth paying $100 for it. And then another auction, farm clearance auction, came up, like a museum closing down sort of thing. And the local museum, there's a few here. This museum had all these tractors and fire appliances and all the rest of it. And I didn't really I didn't think that I was going to end up with tractors. But a lot of them went too cheap, and after buying one or two, I ended up doing a deal with the guy for the rest that didn't get passed in and didn't meet reserve and all the rest of it. So we ended up with Allis-Chalmers and McCormick's and Farmals and all that nonsense. I think there was like 30 something tractors at one point, 37 tractors here, something stupid. But the problem is, when they came into the yard, everyone else said, do you want more tractors? And like a kid at a sweet shop, so yeah, sure, I'll take them. Yeah, it doesn't matter. And I ended up with quite a few here. But yeah, so I didn't really think I was going to end up buying a lot. But I ended up buying, I think it was a forklift, like a normal forklift. And I actually sold that to my old boss's son, which is good, but it wasn't really good for this sort of terrain here. But as originally the first one I bought, I thought, well, I can just leave it up the top and drag everything to it, and I can load and unload things at the top. And then the second one that came through on the auction that I was interested in was a Ford, I think it was like a Fordson Supermajor. But that went reasonable money, and I thought, it's not really what I want. I think it went for $800, something like that. And then this David Brown came up, and no one seemed to be interested in it, and I didn't really understand why at the time. So I ended up buying, I think originally it was $400 I paid for it, which is just stupid money for a forklift. Like, even if I hire the one from the local hire place, it's just too expensive. So this is well and truly paid for itself now, the David Brown. But I didn't realise when they sold up a lot of the auction, there's a few people using it to load and unload their stuff as well. So I didn't come with a 40-gallon drum on the front. I put the 40-gallon drum on the front, and other than that, it's as you see it when I bought it. I haven't really done anything to it other than just keep it going, you know, which is good. Then after that I bought, it was this one down here, which I bought, which was really nice Cropmaster. Now the Cropmaster must have been made for a parade or something interesting. So it had all the nice badges and stuff on the side of it, and very early vintage number plates on the back. And I think originally it was either $200 or $300 I paid for it, but I feel the value in it is that's why I've got it. It's mainly been used for parts, and it's already paid for itself in parts because I've stolen the steering box out of it, and that's in the forklift now. And I've also taken, what else did I take? The starter motor went into that one as well, into the forklift, and I think the linkage as well for the throttle. But stuff like that, I mean, it's still a good running motor if I chuck a starter back in it. So ideally this will end up getting scrapped long term, but while it's here I'll just use it. I know it's not the same as the David Brown 25, the Cropmaster. There is a lot of differences, but they're insignificant. They're very little of anything. The other one is another 25, and I think I didn't pay anything really for this. It was just a few $100. But even if I say it's about $300 or $400, it isn't what I paid for it. But I thought this one would be good for parts, you know what I mean? And I haven't had it running, I haven't done anything with it. I know it turns over. It's one of these ones that someday I might do something with it. I did notice that there's a lot of loose fuel bowls. I actually took the fuel bowl, sorry. I'm just remembering some things I did. The fuel bowl was loose on it, and I think there's something with the carb as well, or the lines were loose on it too. So there was some weird thing with the carb, or someone's done something. Still turns over. I actually took the fuel bowl off it and put it on the forklift, because when I got this forklift it's still leaking a little bit, but nothing major. It's not leaking gallons. You can see the fuel bowl here. It's is leaking some fuel, but yeah, I did take the fuel bowl off that one, and I was wanting to take it off the Cropmaster, but the Cropmaster's a double bung fancy one. Obviously around kerosene and probably fuel, I'd imagine, but not 100% sure. And then this one here is the forklift crane one, which I want to put that mast on the back. Now my mate told me about this one, so a good acquaintance of mine told me about it. He was at a garage sale, because he wheels and deals and stuff he finds at garage sales, and he says there's this tractor here for sale. They want $100 for it, and it's got a crane on the top, a nice big crane. Don't know if I can lift too much, but you can't buy an engine crane for $100. So I said, yeah, I'll be interested. Can you just buy it? I'll go and get a trailer and all the rest of it. But he wanted nothing to do with it, so I ended up going over there. By the time I got there, like before then, he did say the price had gone up, and being a good guy that he is, he actually put the spare bonnets, bonnet sides, which have got up there, a spare radiator, all aside for the tractor that was just scattered all through this garage sale / farm clearance. I think they just sold the house, just having a massive garage sale. So I went over there. I think I ended up paying $350 for it, which even then is still a steal for what it is. And got it loaded up. It did have dual wheels on the back, which is looked really good in the photos and that, and I was hoping that they would work, and I have put them on the forklift, the other set. I had to take them off to fit on a trailer, but I'm now in hindsight realising that I'm going to have to just run the tractor tyres, which I'll probably either take off the Cropmaster or this other 25, just to bring the height back up, because the mast bottom is scraping and taking out some big rocks on the driveway, and also that float bowl sits a little bit lower, so just a little bit lower. And on the current forklift it's a little bit funny on real steep bits now. If you turn it off it will not start, so you've got to actually prime the carb on it, which is a pain. But yeah, ideally I did get this thing running after I bought it, dragged it home, got a really good spark, and it was shocking time, but it was good and it ran straight away. The problem that the guy told me when he sold it to me, because he's the one that built the thing, which is, it's not the best built crane, but it's solid enough for even just lifting an engine out, but this little valve body needs to be replaced, so it's all been disconnected and all that. Got a lot better hydraulic setup system in it, and it's just a nice looking tractor in general. But yeah, I got a wee bit of a collection of David Browns, and the other one I've got, and I did a deal with my old man because he originally, when we had a yard further down in town, I was doing a lot more by hand and lifting things and engine hoist and stuff like that. He had this David Brown behind me. It's just a little bit buried, but it's had a cracked block, and we used it for years and years down there. But had a cracked block, just a crack, and it was always pissed out water. And then those rams on the front bucket, because it's got a bucket on the front, burst, or they were leaking, but they didn't do any good me trying to lift an Austin Lodestar, a rear axle, big huge heavy diff, about probably 200 or 300 kilos, maybe more. All I can remember was it was big and it was heavy and I couldn't move it, so this thing did it. But then the seals sort of burst in the ram, so they didn't really need to be doing. But I had to deal with the old man for it. So this is one I was thinking originally of putting a bucket on the front of the forklift as well, because this one's got a cracked block. It's only really good for parts, and the tyres are pretty reasonable on the back too, so I could take the tyres off this one too if I wanted to. But yeah, it's a good going 25 with a bucket on the front, but it's an old, lever pull, release the bucket sort of thing. Nothing exciting. And yeah, other than that one, what else I've got is a Nudfield. This is one of my favourite tractors in the yard, but I can't do anything with it. I've also got the crawler as well, so that's 8 then, technically vintage machines here. But this Nudfield, I used to, years ago when Dad had the David Brown 25, I had a Fordson Super Major I got in a deal. And in a deal with the Fordson Super Major, I just have to remember this because I don't want to, I'm sure I will swap the 20-foot Hartley with a Fordson Super Major, so a 20-foot Hartley boat, it's 20 foot long, with plywood, glass plywood, 4-ton bloody thing, on a trailer with a Fordson Major tractor. I'm sure that's what the deal was, because I'm just getting confused. There's that many deals I do. I'm sure that's what I swapped for a Range Rover Classic 4-door at the time. They weren't worth much, these Range Rovers, but it was sort of a good deal, and I loved the size of the Fordson Major. It was just a nice big tractor. It was like a proper tractor. The 25s are not really proper tractors as far as I'm concerned. It is a tractor, but yeah, it's a 25 to me is just a step up from a lawnmower, ride-on lawnmower. So yeah, I've always liked the size, and it just felt really good just driving it, you know what I mean? I actually drove it to work on one day as well. I think the guys were egging me on to do that when I was working. But then I got this one here. Now this is I think I paid $400 for it. With that, it's including auction fees, I think. But I really like the size of it, and it's for what I need to do when I'm pulling out stuff. It's not a small tractor, but it's a petrol flathead, so easy to keep going petrol. Big huge thing, but I can't get it to turn over quick enough. So I've got a 12-volt battery on here, and it could be an earthing thing or something like that, but my big battery, which is 800 cranking amps, 12 volt, it just turns it over way too slow. So maybe there's an issue with the starter motor. Ideally, when I've got the tow rag here, because that weighs 3 ton, I should put a bar on the front of it. I know I've got spark. The fuel tank does leak, unfortunately, where these primer marks is, I'm sure is where it's pissing out fluid, but it's not a major thing, but it does leak fluid, which is annoying. But it's just a nice big Nudfield, and Nudfields have always been quite a nice desirable tractor in my books anyway, so that's ideally the one I would like to use when I'm pulling stuff around the yard instead of what I've been doing with a forklift, because when I'm lifting with the David Brown, I'm lifting up the front of a vehicle, stropping it to the mast and pulling it up the driveway just to get it away. But if I can do it with a Nudfield, it's got a 3-point linkage on the back of it as well, so I've got a box up there with a pump in it, and realistically it would be nice to put engines in the back and be able to move them up and down the yard as well, or parts or scrap, you know what I mean. Just fill the bin on the back and be able to move it, and just it'd be quite handy tool to have. But that's ideally the one I would like to get up and running really soon, but whether I do or not, that's another thing. Anyway, hope that's of interest to you. My terrible collection of vintage tractors and old crap. And I thought I'd just show you a video of this old International crawler I've got. Just me trying to start the thing up, which I need to find a starter motor for. I do appreciate you guys watching these videos, and I'll catch you back in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.